What is a credit score?
A credit score is a numerical representation of a person's credit worthiness based on their credit history. Now, when you think of credit scores, you think of the three credit reporting agencies, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. But really, any numerical score that represents someone's credit history could be called a credit score. Now, when we think about FICO scores, that's the most common measure of credit scores, Steve. What's your guess at the average FICO score? It goes from 0 to 800 in the United States. What do you think the average is?
400.
The average is 718.
Weird.
But you have to have a 740 or higher to get the best interest rates and things like that when you're applying for a loan.
Do I have a credit score?
Most likely you do. If you've ever borrowed money, have a credit score.
And is that credit score connected to when I use my social security number? Is that how they track me?
Yeah, so if you go to those three companies that I mentioned, you can actually pull a copy of your credit score and see what's on there. And I recommend that everybody do that at least every year or two to make sure that there's nothing on there that shouldn't be. Probably the easiest way to do it is to enter the URL annualcreditreport.com, and you can pull, just like it sounds, a free annual credit report that will show you what's on your credit report, what your credit score is, and it can be very helpful to prevent fraud or any reports that aren't true, because believe it or not, it actually takes 7 years for a negative report to fall off of your credit score. So if you miss a cell phone payment back in college, you could still be paying for that for the next 7 years. You could be 28-year-old dealing with that problem.
And a credit score is kind of, you can find out what it is, but it's really kind of the backroom logic that the financial industry uses to see if they want to work with us. Is that the idea behind having a credit score at all?
Yeah, like I said, it's just a number that represents how likely a company or anybody really thinks you are to repay a loan if they make it to you. So you might get your credit score pulled when you're applying for a lease agreement on a new apartment or a mortgage or a car loan, or even something like a cell phone plan. All of those things, they might use a credit score to say, is this person probably a good bet to repay us the money they say they're going to repay us?
Great. For more financial education, as well as inspiration and equipping for the biblical family leader, subscribe right now. You can do it right now to the Abraham's Wallet podcast. We're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and your favorite podcast platforms.